I'm going to call a chap I've spoken to, I think, 3 times now. Maybe this is the 3rd time. And he has a nursery business that he actually closed. And he has a very beautiful nursery that's empty. And he wants to sell the lease on the nursery. So grant us a lease. And also he has certain assets within the nursery which is now that this is the subject of the conversation, really, we're getting a value on what these assets are. So okay, so this is going to be really a conversation about the asset value. So let's have a call and see what he says.
Hello?
Hi, Dean, it's Jonathan.
Oh, hi, Jonathan.
Hello, hi. Sorry, I'm calling you later than we originally agreed.
No, it's fine. Not a problem. I wasn't up too much anyway, so that's all right.
I've had some nursery owners in the office, and they arrived half an hour late. So everything just became half an hour late.
It pushes everything back.
But I'm very pleased to say that we are now going to be the owners of 2 new settings.
Oh, wow. Congratulations. Where are they?
In Kent. North Kent. So, yeah, everyone's happy. Good result all round. So, I got your asset list. Thank you very much for that. And when I looked through it, I saw that there were some assets that are effectively part of the infrastructure of the building, like the kitchen and the floor.
Right.
Which. Obviously that's taken care of that's part of the lease, isn't it? That's, when you rent a property.
The kitchen units, you mean?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Right, but obviously there's a cooker in there and various other things like dishwasher and
oh, okay, so I was looking at the kitchen. I meant specifically the kitchen units.
Right, yeah.
But, okay, I see what you mean. So I think...
The other thing is, sorry, Johnson, I will say this to you. That list isn't by any means comprehensive. It's got a lot of the major stuff in, but my wife was looking at it just the other day. She says, I spent £1,000 at Sainsbury's on toys and equipment, which a lot of it is still in the loft. Not a lot of it, but there's a lot of it still up in the loft, unused and still boxed, which I told Adam about. She said, that's not on there. She says, I bought some rugs from Wayfair. They're not on there. And to be honest with you, I'm not... that list isn't accurate in the sense that there's a lot more there than that's portrayed. But at this point in time, we are where we are, and
yeah, sure.
Unless you want to do a physical touching everything and whatever, then it's sad because at the end of the day, I told you I was going through a lot at the time we were doing this as well.
Yeah.
When you give things to people, receipts, invoices, because we tend to spend cash. I'll be straight with you, because the raise cash.
Yes.
You put cash in the bank, they charge you. Take cash out of the bank, they charge you.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So my wife especially, and whatever, we were using a lot of cash around that time, and we had a whole box of receipts, which I think is completely missing off there. But anyway, we are where we are, and
okay.
An overall view in it and see where you want to be, and we'll have to see where we want to be as well. And then
okay. So really, I think give me a figure that you would be happy with.
To be absolutely honest with you, Jonathan, I think anything less than 70 would be, it just wouldn't work for us, because 70,000 is, in my mind, still a very low figure for what you're getting. You could easily go into a nursery and a setting and spend far more than that, just bringing what they've got and starting from scratch.
Sure. And
obviously, you'll speak with Adam. And I know I keep saying this to you, Jonathan, but you haven't seen the nursery. The amount of money I spent on that equipment and the the level I've done it to, I'm sure people don't do it to that because it was our own personal thing.
Yes.
We're not a commercial thing. It was our own personal little baby. We went over the top. And in hindsight, possibly we shouldn't have done, but that's who we are. Are you with me?
Yes.
If you take anything less than 70,000, I do think it would be unfair.
Okay. Well, I don't want you to feel, especially if we're going to be your tenant and neighbours.
Yeah, absolutely.
as well.
I mean, I'll be straight to you. If you even paid 100, you wouldn't be doing bad out of it. But at the end of the day, I don't want a Brexit situation here and carry on for 2 years trying to get this on the market.
You know what? I actually said that to someone the other day. I said, we're negotiating the purchase of a nursery. It's not Brexit.
Yeah.
And yeah.
But like you said earlier, people will just carry on and on and on for another 5-10 grand. We just want this done. We're reasonable people. I think you've gathered that already. We could push for more, but we've said to ourselves, look, if we get this covered around 70 grand, we feel like we've covered most of what we need to cover. And the rest of it, then we're in it for the long term. And hey,
Sure.
I think it'll be doable at that.
So if we just turn to the lease, are you happy with a 15-year lease?
We are, yes.
Okay.
I told the bank already, they don't see it as a problem, but they have to obviously sign it off because
Yes.
they've got a charge over the building.
Correct. Yeah.
We've got a mortgage with them.
Absolutely.
So I've notified them already that you're indicating a 15-year lease, and he says, well, I don't see it as a problem, but obviously we do have to put it through credit and what have you.
Of course, and we use a standard lease document, so it will be nothing that the bank doesn't see every day anyway.
Yeah.
So that's that. And I know that you initially said a scale of rent, but I don't feel as though we can go above that 36,000 because we've got to hire staff.
So you're saying 36,000 in year one, but you'd like it to stay there?
Well, you typically have a rent review on a 15-year lease.
3 years. Yeah.
Well, 3 to 5 years, really.
Yeah. If it's going to be at 36, then I do need to consider that because it's a bit lower than we thought. I don't mind a 36-year lease in the first year because obviously the first year is your more difficult year. Mm-hmm. But I see a slight step up in years 2 and 3, and then after that we can look at 3 or 5 year lease breaks review. Sorry.
Okay. Or I suppose.
And obviously, you've also mentioned you want a rent-free period, and you have to look at what length you're asking for there.
Well, in terms of rent-free, what we have to consider is we are going to have to hire a manager who is then going to have to hire some staff, and at the same time, we need to do lots of marketing to get the children in.
Jonathan, you're telling somebody who's already been there, so
you know the pain. So we need to keep an eye on our costs during that initial 6 months. And if we were to do something during November, we probably wouldn't see an opening until Easter next year. So we'd be, I don't want to be paying rent on empty premises, as I suppose no one would.
Right. So what you're saying is, so let me to get your timescale right. So if the lease was to start November,
yeah,
then you're talking about getting some staff in and what have you. Well, when will your registration be completed, do you reckon?
Oh, that was something that we were talking about on the before, wasn't it?
That's right. And if you remember, you asked about it. I think it's cancelled now, our registration. Yeah, we've cancelled our registration.
Okay. So that would be something. Let me just think what. Let me just look at my emails. Just 1 second, because I know that I had an email conversation with my colleague Linda about this just recently. Let me just see if I can find this. Let me have a little look here. Right. Okay. So it says just one second. I know I've got it here somewhere. I can't remember how many months it takes to get a new Ofsted.
6 weeks, is it? What's the Ofsted lease registration?
How long does it take you guys?
Because we had to then redo things for the fire department because of the Grenfell Tower. It took us a bit longer, but Ofsted had already got involved by that time. So because they've already approved it, they're literally just going to come in, approve it, and walk away, aren't they? They're not going to ask for other things to be done because we've done everything now. Mm-hmm. You understand? So it's going to be a far less short scale. But you're doing this every day, surely?
Yeah, but we're buying nurseries that are up and running.
Right, okay.
So we haven't so far bought one that is in the situation.
I think once you've got your manager, it could take about 6 to 8 weeks, possibly.
So let's say we had all this finalised in the next few weeks during the month of November. We probably wouldn't have that Ofsted registration in place anyway till end of Jan, beginning of Feb.
Well, November, December, that's 8 weeks, so probably early January, I imagine. I'm
just considering Christmas because considering that Ofsted's a government department, I don't know. I think we're both probably guessing slightly.
Just saying that she knows people that's got it within 2 weeks, so again, it's one of those things, we don't know that. Depends what they've got on, doesn't it? Like you said, obviously, yes, Christmas is there, but she said that a nursery that she was talking to got it in 2 weeks.
Wow. Okay. Well, that would be amazing.
But I'm sure that's not the norm. But you just don't know, do you?
So just tell me then what would work for you if we signed a lease in November, and then we would be aiming for opening, I don't even know when Easter is next year, but let's say it's during March.
Yeah. So end of March you're looking at probably Easter, usually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you could do us a rent-free to the end of March.
Rent-free till end of March, that's 5-6 months. No, I think that's too long for us. We are a small, privately owned business, you know that. We're not big people like you.
Oh, well.
We don't have that facility to give 6 months rent-free.
Is it 6 though? Because January, February, March is 3 months. And then if
November, December, January, February, March.
Yeah, but I don't...
You're forgetting about November and December, aren't you?
Yeah, well, December, yes.
Jonathan.
Say that again?
I said you're a clever
person. You're giving me way too much credit. But I'm just saying that we're at the end of October now. So by the time we get a lease agreed,
it's going to be end of November by the time we get things.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
You know how slowly this can move. So we're really looking at 4 months rent free.
January, February, March. Okay. All right.
And normally I'd ask for 6.
Again, without agreeing every little bit individually, what I would like to see is a proposal for the whole thing. Because obviously the assets or whatever it is, the rent-free period, then the rent, whatever, and the way it scales, then we can look at the whole thing in the package, can't we, and say, does that work for us? I know we've got to give a little bit in certain areas, but then again, you need to give a little bit in certain areas. But if you start negotiating every little step, then it's the package that's the more important thing, isn't it?
So what I'm going to do, I'm going to send you an email.
Just send us some heads of terms as you see it.
Well, yeah, with what I know would work for us, and then you can respond to that.
I think that'd work. Yeah, I think that would work. That'd work for us.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Okie dokie. Good talking to you.
Thank you.
And we will speak again soon, no doubt.
No problem.
Lovely. Cheers for that, Dean.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye. Bye. He's I like him. He's a clever guy. And to be fair, it's not a lot of money, and £70,000 to walk into a nursery fully kitted out, ready to go, is good, is very good. So I'll run that past my FD who did the viewing, and see if he agrees to that, because and closer to the time we'll probably split that 17 into 2 payments, but that is a very, very fair amount. And if we can get rent free until April next year, so I'll say beginning of the new financial year, then that takes the pressure off. That would be, I think it's going to be, that'd be a good one. That'd be a good one.